It's difficult to remember a time when there was so much going on in the wrestling world as there is now, whether it's the latest goings-on with All Elite Wrestling or the big creative moves being made by WWE. Join us now as WrestleLamia looks at why WWE hired Eric Bischoff, why Maria Kanellis may be in the WWE doghouse, and Roman Reigns' thoughts on Jon Moxley. Why the WWE brought back Eric Bischoff. Last week's announcement that the WWE had hired Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff as executive directors for Raw and SmackDown Live stunned the wrestling world, with speculation running rampant as to what influence they would have overseeing their respective brands' creative departments. While Heyman and Bischoff are both known for their creativity, Bischoff's signing has something to do with the target demographic WWE is looking to attract, as well as a particular set of skills Bischoff possesses. Like any WWE hire, there's always the question of whether the promotion hires someone to keep them from their rival. It goes without saying that All Elite Wrestling was probably interested in both Heyman and Bischoff, something WWE also knew. Bischoff's name was reportedly mentioned by Cody Rhodes in a recent video. However, there are specific reasons for Bischoff's hire, as we will now see. Bischoff, best known for his work in WCW, particularly for devising the white-hot New World Order storyline, was last seen working for Total Nonstop Action, a run far less successful than his WCW tenure. Nonetheless, the WWE is believed to have brought Eazy-E back to WWE for two purposes. One, his name recognition with stockholders and fans, and two, utilizing his corporate knowledge and skills to work closely with Fox. During a recent episode of his podcast, 83 Weeks, Bischoff commented on his new role. "I want to let everybody know the magnitude of this opportunity and the challenge and the commitment that goes along with it is not lost on me. In this situation, this is an entirely different ballgame here. This is a very sophisticated company in WWE. There is a great team already in place. They're moving the SmackDown show to Fox Network, which is going to obviously have a lot of eyeballs on it in every way. So the magnitude of this opportunity is not lost on me. I said this in a tweet, this is probably the only thing I'm really going to say beyond this, and I mean this, almost get a tear in my eye saying it. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I cannot express, even here, because this is a different kind of excitement for me. I haven't felt this way maybe in forever, but for at least 20 years. This is a whole different ballgame." This is obviously a very exciting time for Bischoff, and although he's promised to stay on with his podcast 83 Weeks, his focus will be on his new role as executive director. While we don't know if Bischoff will appear on camera, his name speaks for itself, both in a good way and a bad way. Naturally, the WWE is hoping fans and investors will focus on the positives rather than the negatives. Bischoff brings name recognition as a former WCW executive who achieved incredible success but ultimately saw a sharp downturn in the company under his watch, and a face both WCW fans and WWE fans know. Dave Meltzer has stated that he's unsure how much Bischoff will be able to handle the creative portion on SmackDown, but he notes his name recognition to WWE stockholders and his effectiveness as a heel persona. Perhaps more importantly, Bischoff's corporate experience may help him schmooze with Fox executives, hopefully building a strong business relationship as Fox tries to build up SmackDown Live into one of their top programs. However, there seems to be different opinions of Bischoff's value in terms of pleasing stockholders. Ringside News recently reported that bringing Bischoff in isn't going to help the stocks. Most of Wall Street doesn't even know who Eric Bischoff is. Wall Street isn't projecting how good storylines will be, they project cash flow and top/bottom lines. As discussed in our recap of the 2nd July 2019 SmackDown, Bischoff was on hand at the show, but is reportedly not going to contribute to SmackDown's creative process until after Extreme Rules. Bischoff has been out of the wrestling game for years and is said to want to observe how things work so he can get a complete understanding of day-to-day logistics. According to Brad Shepard, Bischoff's first night at SmackDown seems to have gone well. Internally, everyone was shocked at the Bischoff signing. They're happy for him, but believe the key will be, as I've talked about, how much Vince is going to lean back and allow Eric, and of course Paul on Raw as well, to control the show. Eric has already been described to me as a sponge and inventive. Anyone with questions about how Bischoff might influence SmackDown should check out an interview he did with Fightful last spring. In it, Bischoff said, "When you talk about production values, you have to look at it from more than one perspective. Whose graphics are cooler? Who has the better pyro? Those are obvious things. Going from taped to live had a far more significant impact on the wrestling industry than cool graphics. Even today, I love WWE's product. Nobody can come close to producing them. For my tastes, it's a little too glossy. It doesn't feel live, there's no sense of urgency. The feeling that anything can happen, that's a big advantage of going live. You condition the audience to believe or to feel, even subconsciously. Because it's live, it's a little more dangerous because anything can happen. That's something that drives viewership for wrestling, or at least it used to. I think by producing a show that's too glossy, you almost forget that it's live. That's just my own take. That doesn't mean I'm right, that's just how I feel about it. Whether or not Bischoff has lost touch with today's fans is one question being asked, particularly considering his failed run in TNA handling creative chores, although Bischoff was praised for the work he did with Spike TV at the time. With Bischoff's creative debut still in the future, he has time to fine-tune his ideas and run them past Vince McMahon. As most people seem to agree, Bischoff's ultimate value will depend on how much Mr. McMahon listens to him. The bizarre reason for Maria Kanellis' heat. Fans who tuned in to the 1 July 2019 Raw may have been surprised to see real-life husband and wife Mike and Maria Kanellis show up on WWE's flagship show, as they challenged Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch to an impromptu mixed tag match. Mr. and Mrs. Kanellis have not been regulars on either Raw or SmackDown for some time, so this was a pleasant surprise for their fans. However, don't expect to see Maria, and possibly Mike, on Raw or SmackDown anytime soon, as Maria is reportedly in big trouble with WWE. If you didn't see the match, Maria argued with hubby Mike after he tapped out to Becky Lynch, with Maria ridiculing him and saying if she ever needs to get pregnant again, she'll ask the man Becky Lynch to do the job. Little did fans know, but Maria is apparently pregnant. This will be her second child, and will now be out of action for anywhere from 9 months or more. With the WWE recently re-signing both Mike and Maria to 5-year deals, there's some dispute whether they're receiving $500,000 each per year or $500,000 total per year. The WWE probably isn't too happy, particularly if Maria knew she was in a family way when they re-upped with WWE. Brad Shepard reported on his Oh You Didn't Know podcast that, according to a source in WWE, the company is upset about Maria announcing her pregnancy after her and her husband re-signed new contracts. The source quoted them as and said not to expect a significant push anytime soon. Some believe this may be a work, as there's the possibility both Maria and Mike underwent physicals prior to renewing their contract. But Forbes' Alfred Kanawa noted that one of the few employment laws WWE does seem to adhere to is refraining from asking a woman coworker if she's pregnant, allowing the Kanellises to withhold this information, whether intentional or not, until after re-signing. If Maria knew, it'll be fascinating to see how WWE handles this, as any retaliatory action by WWE would invite a legal examination of whether WWE superstars are independent contractors, as WWE claims, or employees. Things may settle down, however, as Fightful.com recently announced, "We're told that Maria Kanellis has let it be known backstage that she wants to remain on screen throughout her pregnancy after she and Mike Kanellis both signed new 5-year deals." Maria also took to Instagram, posting positive results of her pregnancy test. No word on whether Mike Kanellis is the dad or whether Maria in fact sought out Becky the Man Lynch to do the time-honored tradition of baby making. Roman Reigns' friendship with Jon Moxley. Fans wondering how Roman Reigns' friendship with Jon Moxley has been affected by Moxley leaving WWE for All Elite Wrestling need look no further than a recent Sports Illustrated interview with the Big Dog. In it, Reigns said, "I don't think our working relationship is going to be what it used to be, but I'll always love that guy. He'll always be my close friend, and I wish the best for him. I wish the best for him, his family, his wife, and we'll always be friends for the rest of our lives. We have a brotherhood, so I'm always cheering for him. I've shared so many great moments with Ambrose, or Mox. We have love for each other well beyond the wrestling, and it will always be that way." Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, and Seth Rollins formed a strong friendship during their time together as The Shield, and although Moxley is no longer with the WWE, it seems they are still close, as things should be. Well guys, there you have it, the reasons why WWE hired Eric Bischoff, why Maria Kanellis appears to be in hot water, and Roman Reigns' thoughts on Jon Moxley. What are your thoughts on these news stories and rumors? Be sure to leave your comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.